Hi, I'm Mara Lerner, and I've had the privilege of living and raising my family in Lawrence County for years. As a wife, mother, and now grandmother, I know how important our faith, schools, and community are to the success of us all. We all want Lawrence County to be a place where our families can thrive and succeed, so we need to provide opportunities and hope to this next generation if we want our youth to be healthy and grow where they've been planted. I believe wholeheartedly that proper planning and teamwork are the only way to achieve the quality of life that we desire here in Lawrence County. As a local business owner, I've had the privilege to serve on the board of the Chamber of Commerce for 4 years, and I am currently serving as the chairwoman of the board. Our teamwork has given us the strength to make meaningful progress and sustainable growth. As a member of numerous other boards, I've helped advocate for children, the homeless, and work with those in our jail system. And with a master's degree in social work, I understand the mental health and resource needs within our community. Time after time, I've seen families and businesses rally together to help the greater needs as they arise. Our volunteer spirit is strong. So together, I know we can continue to progress in the right direction. The Office of County Executive is instrumental in making all of this possible. As someone willing to dedicate their time, heart, and service, I intend to deliver on what Lawrence County deserves. I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, because I am you. And if you want someone who will continue to work tirelessly toward improving your quality of life here in Lawrence County, then I ask for your vote on August 4th for County Executive.
Good evening and welcome to the Dave Ray Show. I'm your host, Dave Ray, here with County Executive candidate Mara Lerner. How are you, Mara?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it's great to have you on the show. I would like to start out as another disclaimer. This is an unbiased media report coming straight from the source. So, first question, let's talk about 5 problems you see in Lawrence County.
Well, we have quite a few little things that we could work on, absolutely. So, one of the things is housing. We have a lot of growth right now in Tennessee and in our area specifically. So I know that we need a lot of housing. We are bringing in some extra businesses, and also that would mean more employees. So we are projecting about 2,500 homes need to be in this area within the next 4 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's a big need for sure. So another thing that we have in this area is our substance use and abuse. And so those are things that we need to address on multi-levels. So one of the things that my husband and I have been working on personally is expanding his business. And it used to be just chiropractic care, but we discovered that there's a multifaceted way to approach any kind of injury, because a lot of people end up on opioids or different class 2 narcotics in order to deal with an injury that they had. So we found that if you seek chiropractic or physical therapy first when you have an injury, you're 87% less likely to go on any kind of opioid. So with that in mind, the new model at Line Medical is also to have a round approach to any kind of injury. So if someone comes in with an injury, they look at it from a physical therapy standpoint, orthopedic standpoint, chiropractic, internal medicine, all the things that you need to look at in order to address it properly and not just mask the symptom with a drug. This is also a model that they use in the Olympics, because if you have an Olympian, somebody that is an athlete, you don't want to have surgery if you don't need it, because it will change your game. Also, you can't have any kind of drug use. So, with those things in mind, you want to see what the best possible approach is. So that collaborative approach is the best way to address any kind of injury. And I had also done some work in the jails for, I was in there every Wednesday for about a year and a half. And there surprisingly were quite a few people in there that started their drug use because of an injury. So, of course, there were other facets and other reasonings behind different people's choice with substance abuse, but that is a big factor. So recidivism is also another thing that we need to really work on in this area. Having spent some time in the jails, and also I'm a mental health counselor. I do outpatient therapy for Centerstone for my master's degree in social work. So we see a lot of things that need to help with that kind of problem. With that being said, we have MRT classes and different things that you can do there. But there's also other models that we could borrow from other counties and different places across the country that have helped them with their recidivism rate. And that's just basically a word that, talks about people that continually end up going back into the jail system. So that is something that we need to really address from that side too. So proper awareness, it can help with that. I know that we have a wonderful coalition here. It has a long name, but it's the Lawrence County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, and they do fabulous work bringing awareness and also just the different programs that they're doing in order to help ensure and protect our youth and even the adults too, so that we can address this problem. So let's see what else. There's just different things. I've also had the opportunity to be involved in numerous different things. So I don't feel like what I bring to the table is very singular. I've been involved in real estate over the years. I've also owned a business here locally for almost 7 years. My husband owns a business here locally. I'm the chairwoman of the Chamber of Commerce, so there's a lot of growth and economic things that I've been able to be a part of. And also with the social work degree and doing mental health counseling and so forth, I'm very in touch with the resource needs that we have in this area. So resource needs are absolutely necessary. Yeah. And providing hope and opportunity, I think, is another key element that we need to address. And we're really doing excellent with that with our new higher education program that we have going on here. And, TCAT, a lot of different things that really bring opportunity to our youth and hopefully keep our kids here and our grandchildren here and provide that hope for this next generation.
Well, so let me ask the next question. Do you believe we have any problems with our emergency services in any capacity?
Yes. The employees, everybody that's doing the job, they're doing wonderful. But of course, there's always ways to improve. Unfortunately, on this level, there are so many different things that this pandemic has done that has affected a lot of businesses, which doesn't exclude our emergency services. So in my business, I've had shortages on little supply needs, just different things. Even helium, you wouldn't think is a shortage, but it is. And, since I opened up my business, it's more than doubled since I opened. Wow. So there are definite shortages. With the emergency services, there's even a shortage in oxygen, So there's, I know, a little scary to think, but there are definite shortages, medical supplies. And that doesn't even bring into account the different personnel shortages. People are really having a hard time with this pandemic and seeing so much loss and being involved in all that. There's a lot of burnout. So finding good qualified help is also, a need. So there are just different things that we could always look at and improve upon. And I believe that we have a great team of people that are looking at our 911 services and our ambulances and things like that. So there's definite ways to work toward progress.
So how do you feel about the transportation system in Lawrence County? Now, when I say transportation system, I'm not specifically talking about buses and mobility in that aspect. I'm talking about our roads. Because as county executive, I believe there's a lot of transportation things you might be able to look at. So in your opinion, what do you think about that?
Well, as far as that kind of thing goes, there's really little control that county executives have over that type of thing. So we have road operators, we have our commissioners. The commissioners are really the ones that do most of the heavy lifting. And my job is to communicate with them, express the needs that are within our community. I'm the advocate for our community. So I will work hard to work together towards solutions to things that we need. As far as other transportation, we do have some, SCATs and different public transportation things that are great. The My Ride was getting started too, and so that's for elderly. But it would be great to have more opportunities here. I know that I've heard a lot of buzz about people wanting Uber and Lyft and things like that down here. Unfortunately, it has not been expanded down here yet, but that would be great opportunities too. So.
I know you kind of already spoken about opioid and drug abuse. But,
yes.
From the aspect of being the county executive, how would you be able to work on that specific issue in Lawrence County?
Well, I believe that my number one need would be to support the coalition. The coalition has great leadership right now, amazing leadership, and I have been working with them personally for a little while now, and so I believe wholeheartedly in everything that they are doing and trying to do in our area. Continuing to be educated and to learn more about the programs that are available, the grants that are available. There are a lot of different things that if we work as a team, we could accomplish together. So with that said, there's also things that we deal with homelessness, and we're trying to figure out exactly, is it mainly substance abuse or is it mainly mental health issues? So we're working on something right now to figure out how we can address that and tackle that head on so that we can better serve our community and better serve those who are in need. So that's something that we're working on right now, is hopefully finding the grants that we need in order to have a case manager on site where we could assess exactly what their needs are. And that will better allow us to move forward in the proper way to address that. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned you were the chairwoman of
Yes.
the chamber.
Yes.
And so tell me about some economic development going forward, what
Mm-hmm.
we're maybe looking at. I know you can't give a lot of details.
Sure.
But maybe what we might be looking at here in the next year to 2 years.
Well, we are set up for some amazing announcements and amazing growth. We are attracting companies from around the world right now. Tennessee is a great company, it's very business friendly, I guess is the best way to put it.
That's great. I completely agree.
Yes. And then with that being said, we also have TVA and Lawrenceburg Utility, LUS, that is in a position where they have really thought proactively and thought in the future to know exactly what it is that we're going to need to have uses for, if that makes sense. So when we have companies coming in and asking if we could service certain utility needs, we're already set up to say, yes, absolutely. It's not something that we're having to work hard to achieve and accommodate and things. Most of the time, we're already ready. So that attracts a lot more businesses and a lot of growth for this area. So we have some exciting things, on the horizon right now. So we should be having some announcements coming up. But with that being said, that growth requires proper planning as well. And that is something that's key and paramount right now, especially with this election coming up. If we fail to plan, or we plan to fail, and that's something that I even say in my announcement video. Proper planning is key, and land use development is key. And if we do not think about this strategically, then we're going to have a haphazard sort of look and layout and not a very functional layout for our future. So it's something that we really need to think about.
So another area of economic development is
Mm-hmm.
workforce development.
Absolutely.
So what do you feel about that? How are we doing in Lawrence County on workforce development?
Well, of course, we could always improve, but I believe that we're really moving in the right direction. We have great trade school things going on, TCAT, the expansion of the college and the Southern Tennessee higher education programs that's going on right now. I believe that we are bringing attention to the needs that we have in our area, and everybody is listening to hear what it is that we need to be providing to our students and people that are looking for better opportunities in their future, in their families. So as they're listening, they're developing programs that are going to better address what it is that we need and what companies we're drawing and being able to fulfill those positions that they require.
So I guess I'm just hitting all the economic development points here, but tourism.
Yes.
I feel like tourism is a front door to Lawrence County.
Yes.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is it a front door just to visit Lawrence County,
Mm-hmm.
that might give them a thought, hey, maybe I'm going to move to Lawrence County one day.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about tourism? Maybe forward planning, what might we be looking at going forward with tourism?
Well, I believe that we are working already on that right now. We have a lot of tourism coming in, and as we know with Etheridge, the Amish community, our local state park brings in, I believe, 850,000 people a year. So, and the Vaughn Festival and James Vaughn Festival and just different things that we have going on bring these people to our community. And as we beautify it, we're working on the downtown right now. We're working on finding signs and the rebranding of Lawrenceburg. Those type of things all are going to be coming together in order to provide the best opportunity and best face of Lawrence County. So I'm excited about the things that we have going on and the growth that will continue to happen as even social media and all these things take place. I believe that it's really only going in the right direction.
Okay, so you talked about some issues earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So on one side, you've got the issue, but on the other side, you've got to have a solution to that issue.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of talk about the solutions you're thinking of about the issues you talked about earlier.
Okay. I lightly touched on some of those, but for example, with our housing, we have to make sure that we have an environment that attracts builders. Right now, we have some of our local builders that are trying to work on the housing needs. So I don't know if you go around town and go around the area, you'll see a lot of housing projects going on, somewhere between 200 and 300 right now, that are, permits and different things that working in that direction. But we need more, we have apartment needs, we have housing needs, entry-level housing needs, and that's pretty much the bulk of it. Of course, higher end homes would be nice and that as well, but having proper incentives for those builders and having proper planning and knowing where to put those. So we need to have a plan to research this and find out exactly what those needs are. We've had small surveys go out, but we need to have a bigger sort of plan to see exactly what it is that we need so that we can fill those needs and not just throw money at a problem and not really know what the need is. So recidivism, we're talking about people continually going in and out of the jails. One of the things that we'd like to address is some of the people that are going to the jails really don't need to be in the jails. It's mental health concerns. So if we have a way to sort of funnel in a different direction that'll be more helpful for them, then that will also help our jail system. Building a bigger jail is just not acceptable in my opinion. And I agree that, most people don't want that. So we need to find a way to make sure that we can give people the opportunities and the right guidance so that they don't end up being reincarcerated. So there are things called transitional housing and different programs that other places have that I believe would be instrumental here, ones that have proven track records that we could use and borrow from. And some of them are even willing to come here and teach us and put their money where their mouth is, and really show how that can help our county. And so I'm 100% on page for a program like that. I believe that would help them. It helps them with job reentry. It helps them with budgeting. Some programs have them where they're have you seen the trustees around? Trustees are some of the inmates that are allowed extra privileges, and they get to go out and they work and things like that. So working off of that sort of thought process, they would be able in this other model to work, and then that money goes toward helping pay off their fines, maybe back child support, different things. So when they're actually released, they don't have this huge paramount amount of debt or fees and fines and all these things that they're having to pay. So it almost gives them a whole different lease on life. They don't feel like they're in this never-ending cycle. And, people perish for lack of hope. And that is something that can give people hope. So I find that's, another important thing. Mm-hmm.
We will be right back after this quick commercial break.
Are you in need of lighting for your home or business? Stop in today at Industrial LED Lighting located at 319 Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg. Industrial LED Lighting is the one-stop shop for all your lighting needs. Not sure how to light your facility? Contact us for your free consultation and let us work with you until your lighting project is complete. Are you an online shopper? Don't worry, Industrial LED Lighting has you covered through our new online store, easily accessible at www.myindustrialled.com. At Industrial LED Lighting, we are the light.
Ray's Produce and More is a family-owned and operated produce house located at the west end of Lawrence County, Tennessee. Ray's Produce offers a large selection of fresh and local produce and much more. Headed to Laurel Hill Lake, we offer a great selection of fishing bait and live worms too. Stop in Monday through Saturday from 9:30 to 5:30 for exceptional customer service and even better produce. Visit us at 42 Chisholm Crossing, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, or give us a call at 931-629-0717. Don't forget, you can find us on Facebook too.
And we're back with Mar Lerner, who's the county executive candidate for Lawrence County. So, next question. How do you believe the Southern Tennessee Higher Education Center impacts our community right now? And also, how do you believe it's going to impact economic development in the future?
Well, right now, it's providing a ton of opportunity for our local residents. I have personally 2 daughters that are in college at Lee University in Cleveland, Tennessee. I would have loved to have them here, but they're just finally finishing up out there. I have one graduate in December and one next December. But I would have loved the opportunity to keep them here. We were fortunate enough to take advantage of the Tennessee Promise for them. So they went to the 2 free years here locally at Columbia State. That is still available, Tennessee Promise and the Reconnect for people that want to reconnect and go back to college too here locally. So those opportunities are amazing. With this specific center, we have UT Southern that's in there. We have Columbia State, of course, and then we also have Tennessee Tech. Now, with Tennessee Tech, they're running a 2+2 program. And for those of you who are not familiar with that, what it is you can take your 2-year degree, your associate's degree from wherever, as long as it was an accredited college, and then you can do 2 extra years with Tennessee Tech. And right now they're offering a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. So they're still working on the programs that they're going to provide here locally for UT Southern. But, and there's this incredibly complicated process of accreditation and things like that. But they want to hear back on what we want here in this area, what type of programs would be of interest to people locally. So something like that would be, you could contact Sissy Garner if you want to talk about programs that you would like to see here with UT Southern. Chris Jackson is in charge of Tennessee Tech. And then we have Molly Rogers for Columbia State. But feedback is always necessary. Proper communication and figuring out exactly what the needs are here locally are vital. So if we want to see, the proper things be developed. So with that said, the way that translates in the future for our economic growth is we get to keep our people here. So many times people are moving off to college and then we lose them because they're seeking other opportunities and there aren't high paying jobs here and so forth. So we don't have the opportunities here for them to come back. And we don't want that to happen. At least I know I don't. And so many people that just don't want to have that happen. I want to see my grandkids here. We already have 2 that are off in Memphis. And so that's something that's near and dear to my heart, is to provide those type of job trainings, educational trainings, so that we can grow here properly and have business expansion here and all those key elements.
So you were kind of talking about mental health earlier.
Yes.
And I agree. It plays an exceptional and very important role in the lives of everyone. And so talk about ways we can improve mental health in our local schools, our elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools, because there's so many things I believe personally to be fixed. But let's talk about what you see we could work on.
Well, assessment is huge. If we can properly assess any kind of trauma background. Some people have heard about ACEs, and what it is adverse childhood experiences. So there is an ACEs study that was done by Kaiser Permanente. Over 17,000 people were interviewed, and they talked about adverse childhood experiences. And there are 10 different questions. Some of them are, do you have anyone in the home that struggled with mental health issues? Did you have someone in the home that was incarcerated? Did you ever have a time that you felt like you didn't have enough food to eat? Any kind of neglect, abuse? Was there domestic violence in the household? So there are these 10 questions, and they found that if you had 3 or more of them, you were significantly at risk for health concerns. Sometimes even 20 years were taken off of the expected life. And so when we assess exactly what we're dealing with, that helps us be able to plan on how to approach it. So with that said, awareness is huge. Kids' place is vital in this area, something that I hold near and dear to my heart, because sadly, that's something that's not going away. But if we bring awareness and have people understand that it's okay to come forward and have ways for them to seek the help that they need and the treatment that they need so that we can move forward, because trauma perpetuates trauma. And so if we can have healthy resolves for these types of situations, we're not going to perpetuate that problem. It's not going to continue generation to generation to generation. So that's vital. Also, I've thought about different things that we could do as far as local school awareness. If we had a program where, a lot of kids are starting drugs in middle school and high school. Some of them are seeking those type of outlets because they want to feel normal. There's something going on inside of them. Either their brain's racing or they feel all over the place, and they start seeking out another way to self-medicate because they don't understand what's going on internally. So if we could provide an awareness kind of campaign to let them know that there are other needs that can be addressed properly in a healthy manner. So say bipolar disorder. There's a lot of kids that will, or even ADHD, they'll seek these other drugs when there are other opportunities to do it in a healthy and legal way. So we could even help our recidivism rate in that respect too. If they understand, okay, I feel different. I feel like something's off. Let me seek the proper help and be able to connect them with the proper help so that they can start moving in a healthy manner instead of seeking ways to self-medicate.
So I've got a few more questions.
Absolutely.
Before we finish,
This is what I do for a living.
Yes. So let's talk about your vision for Lawrence County going forward.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be very important for the voter to hear your vision and what you plan to work on in Lawrence County.
Yes.
I'm going to just kind of let you talk on
Sure.
subjects that you believe need to be talked about.
Well, overall, I've been involved in this community for a long time, and I've served on numerous different boards. And so I've heard and I've seen the heart of this community, and I care deeply for the things that are concerning the people of this community. And so what I want to be able to do is bring a level of understanding and communication and teamwork to this position. The county executive in itself does not have all this over-encompassing power. And so what it is about is bringing people together. We've had so much division over the years that we don't need to do that. Let's focus on what we have in common instead of all these differences so that we can work toward a better resolve for our area and the people that we love. So teamwork, collaboration. I want people to know that they're heard and they're seen, and that what they want and what they need matters. It matters. And so if we can work together toward those goals, I believe that we can achieve so much. And there's so many things already going on right now, but we can expand upon those. We can develop more coalitions or have little subcommittees within coalitions that can help our community. So my goal is to improve the quality of life here, have people be able to dream together and make a better future for themselves and their families. That's what's vital.
Powerful. So this is somewhat of a difficult question. I asked David
Uh-oh.
the same question. Tell us, or tell voters what you would say to your opponent.
Well, I'll tell you what I did say. When I first found out that the other person was running, and I don't know, we'll probably have more people jump in before it's all said and done. I went to him personally, and I let him know that this is something that was on my heart and mind. My heart is not to be running against someone. My heart is to be running for you. And so I'm running for this community. I want to see the best for this community because I am raising my family here. I have businesses here. I want to have my grandchildren here. And so I just want to have full transparency, no mudslinging, none of this divisiveness, because I'm not running against him. I'm just running for y'all. I just want everybody to have the best possible opportunities here.
Okay, so last question, I promise I'll be done. What is one thing you would say to the voter? If you could leave them with one statement, what would that statement be?
It's in my video. I hear you. I see you because I am you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mara, for coming on the show. And if you win and are the county executive, we will hope to have you on again and talk about great things in Lawrence County going forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tune in next Friday. We've got some great guests going forward the rest of the year. Tune in next Friday on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.